points. So Cat over 22.5 points. Knicks laying the 4.5 points. Two-leg parlay pays out at plus 202. That is the play of the day.
Brunson on the left angle for three and the tie. No good. Air ball saved by Hart. Up top, Towns for three. Front iron, no good. And Indiana comes back and wins game one in overtime.
Okay, welcome to Who Knows How. We are on Sportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. Along with Michelle Smallman, Chris Canty, Evan Cohen with you. I'm sorry, what? What happened last night? The New York Knicks blew a 17-point lead with 7 minutes to go. They blew a 14-point lead with 2:45 to go. They blew a 9-point lead with under a minute to go. And the Indiana Pacers, for the third time this postseason, came back from 7 or more in the final minute of the game to win 138-135 in overtime and take a 1-0 series lead over Nuno, our producers, New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. Good morning, everybody.
It's a good morning for us because we're not Knicks fans. Nuno, how are we doing? Wellness check.
Nuno.
How do you guys think I'm doing? Like, truly, how do you think I am miserable, more than normal? Because it's just, like, let me preface by saying that. I tried to go to bed last night. I was angry. I woke up this morning angry. I'm still angry. Pat walked in here, made me even angrier. So, yeah, how do you think I feel, Canty?
Not great, but your pain is our entertainment. And we're in the business of entertaining because we have a 4-hour radio show every morning. So
Yeah. Nuno, should we run through some of the numbers to illustrate how improbable this Pacers win was? Maybe that'll make you feel a little better to think about what an outlier it was?
Go ahead, Smalls. Go ahead. It can't get any worse. Maybe.
Maybe. We'll see. Well, let me read you some of these numbers. So the Knicks, when they were up 14 in the fourth quarter, their win percentage peaked at 99.8%. You are at 99.8% win probability in the fourth quarter when you're up 14 late.
Seems like a good thing.
Okay.
Pretty safe.
So entering yesterday, teams that trailed by 9 or more points in the final minute of the fourth quarter or overtime in the playoffs, which is what the Pacers were, they were 0-1,414 since 1998. 1,414.
Maybe just let Hembo stick to the numbers. It's hard. And now?
What do you mean?
And now?
They're
1,414. That's
so
how
bad.
improbable it was.
This is so bad. Keep going.
No, that's it.
There's more.
I know, but you told me not to stick to the
I was
numbers.
joking when
Go
you were
ahead.
stumbling. Jeez, I'm
Go
not
ahead.
allowed to make fun of you all of a sudden.
No, you can. You definitely can.
Keep going. Give me more.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have more. You have them in front of you.
I don't think we need to.
We don't. We don't need more.
When it's 1,414 times and no one's ever come back the way that the Pacers did last night, I think that hits home.
Nuno?
Not great. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you guys want. This was so bad. That's Justin. He was running the overnight
You know we're on
board.
the air.
That's fine. Just wave. All right.
Yeah,
so
hi. Okay, thanks.
I'm just having a more. No, it was bad, and like there was just moments in that game, you know, as Canty is texting the group chat where you just know it's going to go sideways, right? There's as great as Jalen Brunson is, like there was a couple turnovers that. Pat, stop looking at me. There was a couple turnovers that, you know.
You're a mess.
I am a mess. See, this was a horrendous loss. This was a really bad loss.
Nuno, do you think perhaps, as I suggested, the Knicks and their fans peaked too soon?
The fans, okay, this wasn't the fans because the players said the right thing throughout this whole time. So it wasn't. That has nothing to do with the fact that they choked away a 14-point lead.
You don't think maybe they felt a little comfortable, took their foot off the gas?
Well, okay, that's a different story. Yes, that part they did, and the players said that. I think Tibbs said that after the game as well, that they slowed down a little bit, and they weren't playing with that pace and constantly attacking.
And Nuno, we haven't even discussed this, the dagger. Tyrese Haliburton hitting you with the choke sign. How do you feel about that?
Also, I want you to save it for the game winner, not actually forcing it into overtime, Tyrese.
He thought it was the game winner.
He thought it was.
That was
It's a bad job by him then.
The stones by Tyrese Haliburton to have a clear path to the rim and say, nah, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back to the three-point line and end it right now.
Yep.
The confidence in that moment. We keep talking about how clutch Jalen Brunson is. That dude, Tyrese Haliburton, we need to put respect on his names in terms of one of those guys that always comes through, has the confidence to take and make big shots.
Yep.
Because that's a shot that's hard to defend, not only to the media, to the fan base, but that's hard to defend by your coaches and to your teammates in the locker room. But yet Tyrese Haliburton didn't shy away from the moment, tried to call game right there in that moment. But you knew when that shot went in, even though they waved it off as a 3 and called it a 2, that it was going to be all Indiana in overtime. They had all the momentum on their side. You're talking about the Pacers in the final 2 minutes and 40 seconds of regulation, outscoring the Knicks 18-4. It was unbelievable. After Aaron Nesmith hits the first couple of threes, you would think that the Knicks would try to run out there, get a hand up on the closeouts, but they didn't. They kept letting them shoot. He kept making them. In clutch time, the Pacers made 7 threes, 6 by Aaron Nesmith. That is absolutely inexcusable. You talk about taking your foot off the gas, the Knicks got out of the car. It's an absolutely embarrassing performance, and it will go down as the Aaron Nesmith game, one of the greatest performances that we've seen in Madison Square Garden. Right there with Jordan's double nickel, right there with Steph Curry's 54, right there with LJ's 4-point play, right there with Willis Reed's Game 7. It is going to be the Aaron Nesmith game. That was unbelievable. I enjoyed watching every second of that game. Now, I hate it because I feel like it was a bad beat in a lot of ways. If Karl Anthony Towns and OG make those free throws at the end of the fourth quarter, maybe we're having a completely different conversation, but they didn't. The Knicks left the door open, and Indiana sprinted through it.
I thought Steph and Clay were amazing last night. I mean, when Steph hit the final shot and Clay's hitting – oh, that wasn't Steph and Clay.
No.
That's what Haliburton and Nesmith were last night. The Haliburton play at the end, well, the end of regulation, when he did, as Smalls mentioned, the choke sign, when he's dribbling backwards, that's a Steph Curry play. Only Steph Curry is allowed to get away with that because of who he is. And Haliburton did it where it had the bounce on the back rim, Kawhi-style bounce, bounced up against the Sixers in the playoffs, and then went in, unbelievable. And then Nesmith is Klay Thompson. I mean, Game 6, Clay, Oklahoma City in 2016, right? When he was unbelievable against KD, it was ridiculous last night. The guy had 31 points, including 6 threes in the fourth quarter alone, 20 of his 31 in the fourth quarter. I mean, this is insane. I think we now have to ask the question, is this Indiana team just a team of destiny?
We're on team of destiny.
I mean, Smalls, they've come back from 7 or more in the final minute 3 times in the playoffs this year. No one else done it ever. It's insane.
Evan, the last 2 weeks on this show, we've been asking the question, why is nobody talking about this Pacers team
they may
as
be
a
just
squad
invincible
that can win the Larry O'Brien trophy? Everybody was talking about how great of a story it is, the turnaround, 43-17 since January 1st, how they figured it out on the defensive end of the court. Didn't look like they played much defense last night, but needless to say, they got better in that regard.
Yeah.
We know that they are one of the best offensive teams, but everybody was dismissive of Indiana actually having a chance to win it all. Mm-hmm. People brought up the Knicks. People said the Wolves. People said OKC. Nobody thought the Pacers, even though they had made it to the Final Four, was a team that could actually get to and win the NBA Finals. I think people are singing a different tune this morning after what they saw in Game 1.
Oh, no doubt. But I think that's because so many people don't view Tyrese Haliburton as that star, as that guy. And he's been saying it. Overrate this. He's hitting you with the Reggie Miller choke last night after the shot. He is telling you, you guys can doubt me. You guys can doubt us. Keep doing it. I actually think it's a comfortable position for them to be in. When we rank the players and the teams that absolutely have to get it done, we always have them at the bottom. So think about that. When you're going into this feeling like you've got nothing to lose, even though we know that that's not how they're viewing it, but when you realize all the pressure that's on the Knicks, they have street signs named after them already, for crying out loud. And they haven't even won a game in the Eastern Conference Finals yet.
Yeah, that had more to do with jinxing the Knicks than whatever I said in the group chat last night. So, Nuno, don't blame me when the city of New York is putting it out there by renaming streets after the Knicks players on this roster, and they ain't won a damn title. But I couldn't help but think back to the Eastern Conference Finals game 1 last year and draw parallels and think about how eerily similar game 1 of the conference finals went this year. Now, oddly enough, the Pacers involved in both of them, but remember, the Boston Celtics were down 3 with seconds to go in that game against the Pacers. Jaylen Brown hits that corner 3, and away we go. The Boston Celtics steal game 1 on the way to sweeping the Indiana Pacers. Well, Indiana found themselves on the other side of it. And Smalls, you're having this conversation about Tyrese Haliburton, and it doesn't really feel like he's the guy. It doesn't really feel like Indiana has a guy. We had similar conversations about the Boston Celtics and who the lead star for that team was throughout the postseason last year. Maybe we're in a time and space in the NBA where you don't need to have the lead guy. You just need to have a few guys that are willing to make big shots. And that's exactly what this Pacers team is. I mean, think about it. We talked about Tyrese Haliburton. We talked about Aaron Nesmith. We didn't even get to Andrew Nembhard, who balled in overtime. I mean, you're talking about this dude scoring, 7 points in a matter of a minute and a half. It was unbelievable. So, I mean, they've got a bunch of guys that will take big shots and make big shots. They have the confidence based on the demonstrated performance. And after last night's game, if you're a New York Knicks fan, you couldn't ask for better performances from your top 2 players. And yet, somehow, some way, Indiana still found a way to win.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure you couldn't ask for a better performance from one of those top 2 players. We'll get to that in a sec. But to your Indiana point, dumb statement, but obvious if you think about it. Points in the first quarter count as much as points in the fourth quarter. So when you're talking about big shot makers, Miles Turner was awesome in the first quarter of this game last night.
Yeah, but the pressure is different, man.
No question.
Pressure is different.
But it counts the same.
Yeah, it counts the same, but it's not the same. The pressure is different.
But the point is...
The points count the same, but not all shots, not all makes are created equal. The pressure, the moment matters.
And I understand.
And Indiana has guys that in those pressure-packed moments, they will take and make big shots.
I just think this Indiana team is insane. They're so abnormal in their ability to do that. 7 or more points. Give the stat again, Smalls. The team's down 9+ in the final minute of fourth quarter overtime since 1998. The record going into last night?
0-1